Let's get on to our main topic.
Yes. So, Stalky McStalktag, as I want to call it.
Okay.
So this is all about AirTags. It's fair to say we were really excited when AirTags came out.
Just define really excited, because I don't remember like dancing around or anything.
We were mildly interested when AirTags came
Thank
out. AirTags have been on Apple's sort of product rumor list for a long time. They wanted to make sure the security was right, and it was up at the standard of Apple products. So for those of you that don't know, what is an AirTag, Dave?
What the AirTag does, it uses Bluetooth LE to connect to any phone or device within its vicinity that is within the Apple ecosystem, and that allows it to be triangulated and located. So
I think it uses NFC as well.
combination of technologies, and you can pop one of these things, say, in your handbag, Pete. I know you do like a handbag.
I normally favour a clutch.
A clutch. So you can pop it in your clutch and you'll always know where your clutch is.
Yes, exactly. Apple spent lots of time both getting the design and the security concerns ironed out. So, for example, it's no good for tracking someone anonymously, like, for example, putting one in your car, because it tells you if you're being followed by an unknown AirTag, and that tag will also make a sound. What this all boils down to is that AirTags are no good for stalkers, except that it looks like they might be.
I thought we might be going in that direction, since this piece is called Stalky McStalktag.
Yeah, and I think it's probably fair to say at this point that we're going to examine this and examine some of the stuff that's been reported, and we'll, as always, draw our own conclusions at the end. But it does seem that numerous people have been reporting to the police and the media that they have had their iPhone tell them that they are being tracked by an unknown device. And Apple support have confirmed that, particularly in one case, this was an AirTag suspected to be in the person's car. A mother with 4 children living on their own.
So I just want to interject at that point, because when I did a little bit of research myself for this item, I came across a useful article on PC Mag where they were talking about how you can protect yourself from these things. But they've got a photo here, and it's an image of a car with its bonnet or hood, depending on which part of the world you're in, up, and a shot of the engine. And underneath it says a Bluetooth tracker can easily be placed on your car. Can you spot the one hidden here? And I've looked at this image fairly extensively, and I cannot see a hidden AirTag. So we're going to put the image up, and you can maybe pause the video and let us know if you do manage to spot it. But I do have to put the caveat up that there's every possibility they just put up a stock image of a car with its hood up. In any case, though, the point is well made, because when you look at open the bonnet of your car and have a look at the engine bay, would you stand any chance of finding something as small as an AirTag if it was well concealed on your car?
Well, there's so many places just in that picture that you could put things.
In fairness, someone would probably crawl under the car and reach up and put the AirTag in, because they might not have the keys to the car. But that doesn't mean they can't access the engine space. And I don't want to make everyone paranoid here and start sort of checking their car all the time, wondering if there's an AirTag in it.
This particular case, the police and Apple support confirmed it was indeed an AirTag, and it's, as of the time of the story that we took this from, it hadn't been found.
So I just want to say as well, at this point, this is not something unique to AirTags. This could, in theory, be done with any kind of tracking device. I believe that Tile are also facing similar issues. So this isn't a dig at Apple that we're doing here. This is not a simple thing to get right. If you want to create these kind of devices, it's never going to be easy. I think Apple does care about security, and I imagine that they've done all sorts of testing. But you and I both know, Pete, from the development work we've done, when you do anything new, you build something new, things come out of the woodwork in testing, and things come out of the woodwork when it actually goes live to people.
Yeah, because users always do things you would never expect them to do.
You can think of every possible scenario in your head, and you think we're good to go live with this, and then you immediately get users doing the most bizarre things.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, right, we've got to fix that. So I'm able to see it from probably Apple's perspective.
Yeah, and what I would say is, Apple, for all its big corporate thing, have always been reasonably good at privacy and security, I would say. Better than most.
Yeah, I'm more comfortable having my data with Apple than I would be with, say, Google or Microsoft.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go through some of the things that Apple say they've considered in this. First of all, Apple say that AirTags are designed to track things, not people. So, just by stating that, presumably any stalker getting an AirTag will go, "Oh, it's no good for people."
I imagine
they'd immediately think that, wouldn't they?
Can I just say though, I think that they're missing a huge market here because it's perfect for kids. Have you ever lost your children?
No, I'm a responsible parent.
I don't believe you. Have you ever lost your children?
Yes, several times.
Right.
Unfortunately, I've got them back.
Yeah.
If you have an iPhone, and you have an unregistered AirTag moving with you, you will be alerted by your iPhone, which is what happened in the person that we're using as a report here. And then that user can play a sound to locate the AirTag, disable it, and stop sharing your location with it.
Right.
So that's one of the security features that the AirTag gives you to prevent this. However, there is a small potential problem with it. It can take some time to notify you of that.
How long?
Some people say 4 to 8 hours, some saying a lot longer than that. Another feature is that AirTags, if they have been separated from their true owner for a period of time, and this period of time is cited at somewhere between 8 and 24 hours, starts chirping.
Not particularly loud chirping, though, as it transpires.
60 decibels.
That's really quite quiet.
Yeah, very easy to muffle, particularly if you were to hide it on a vehicle.
You'd never hear it.
No way. There's also another problem. AirTags can be turned off remotely by their user.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So I could put one on you. You could go somewhere. I'm tracking you.
I don't go anywhere interesting, though, so don't bother doing that.
I know. Anyway, you can turn them off. So I could put one on your person. You could go somewhere within this window that I know I've got before it will start beeping at you. And then I could just turn it off. So I'd know where you were for a period of time.
Right.
So a bit scary. And of course, as we've talked about, this is all within the iPhone Apple ecosystem. Except Apple did release an Android app last December. Apple released an Android app. Can you believe that?
I can.
Yep. And that allows non-iOS users to be notified of unregistered AirTags.
Right.
Except there's a few problems with it. When I say notified, the app is a little bit bare bones. It's pretty much a button that can scan the surrounding area.
Oh, so you've got to actually manually activate it.
Yeah, so when I say it notifies you, it doesn't notify you. There's no push notifications going on. It won't tell you of an issue. You have to go, I wonder if I've been stalked today. Now, that's better than nothing, but it does feel like a bit of token effort.
At the end of the day, they've probably got quite a few challenges on Android to set this up, because on iOS you've got a complete set of libraries in the development suite for working with Find My.
At the moment as well, do you know how many Android devices there are worldwide?
There's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to say a lot, Pete.
It's about 3 billion.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Guess how many downloads the Google Play Store estimate there have been of the Apple Track My AirTag for Android?
My expectation is the number won't be very big.
100,000.
That's not very big compared to 3
very
billion.
small. It's very
it's a
small.
big number, but when you put it next to 3 billion, it makes it look really, really small.
If they're able to scan for these types of devices, for any rogue AirTags, is it that much more effort to make it a push notification so it's doing it for you rather than you having to elect to do it?
Well, I suspect the reason behind that will be battery consumption, because iPhones are using that, is it the U1 chip or U2 chip, whatever it's called? No, U2, that's the band, isn't it?
Yeah.
With the 3 chords.
They know 4 chords now.
And
I like U2. I'm going on record as saying that I like U2, and I suspect many of our subscriber like U2 as well. So not everyone is
that's fine.
a Dream Theater fan like you. I also like Dream Theater as well.
So we'll get back to this low-power chip that's in the phones that is used to locate these devices. Now, not all phones have that chip. An AirTag is still compatible, so it's an additional function. But Having something like that running in the background is something that is designed into iOS and the iPhone, whereas Android doesn't have that.
It's being tacked on to whatever's.
Which means it will
drain your battery.
It will drain your battery.
Yeah.
So if you're concerned about this, you can search for trackers. There are apps that will allow you to do that. Specifically, the one you just mentioned, the Tracker Detect thing that's on the Google Play Store. If you find an AirTag that doesn't belong to you, you might think to yourself, "Woohoo, free AirTag!" But unfortunately, they're tied to a particular Apple account, aren't they?
They are, which kind of doesn't make it great for covert operations, really, does it?
Not really, no, because Apple will know the iCloud account which is attached to. Anyway, from the perspective of taking it for yourself, the person would have to delete it from their iCloud account before you could then take ownership of it. But what you can just do is take the battery out, which is a pretty low-tech way of destroying it. If you can't see how to take the battery out on any, if it's not an AirTag, some other tracker, put it in water and take it to the police station.
Yeah. Or if hit it with a hammer many, many times.
You just be cautious with that because the battery might explode. Better off putting it in water.
Follow what he says. He knows a lot more than me.
I mean, this is a very real issue, but there's not a huge number of reported cases. This is by no means ubiquitous. This isn't happening everywhere. I mean, I suppose stalkers are maybe not in the right mind, but professionals who are following people are not likely to use AirTags.
No,
they'll be using something else. You either have a world where these things exist and there comes the potential of being stalked, or you don't make these things.
But that, if you use that logic, that could extend to a lot of things that have the potential for misuse. Bleach.
Great for cleaning your loo, not so great as an aperitif.
Not a winner. So I think we probably need some kind of disclaimer at this point that these things can be dangerous if misused. So, and the same is true of a lot of things.
And people will misuse things and use them for the wrong thing. And is it up to Apple to fix that for everybody and to make people responsible? Maybe I'm oversimplifying it, but I certainly think that Apple will take it seriously. I'm sure they'll refine the system. I'm sure they'll make it better. And I'm sure these other companies that have the same products will be doing their best as well. Because I actually think they are genuinely useful products.
Yeah.
And being able to track things and stuff, and in the case of people, small people that belong to you, like children.
Very good. Very good.
That's worth doing. Don't you think this is another antenna gate?
You mean when everyone made a big hoo-ha about the fact that iPhones, and only iPhones, drop signal if you held them wrong?
Yeah. And in fact, we all do the joke, don't
true.
we? We all do the "you're holding it wrong" joke when we talk about Apple products. But what happened with that, with the iPhone 4, it had that very specific design. In fact, they still do, don't they? And there's the line on it, the place, the X marks the spot. This is where you hold it to make it not work properly. But it was blown out of all proportion because all smartphones did the same thing when you hold it in a death grip, like people were doing with the iPhone 4. This wasn't something that was unique to Apple at all. And yet they seem to take all the blame for it. Doesn't seem reasonable to me that Apple doesn't have a large team of people who are very passionate and very dedicated to what they're doing. I mean, quite often we look at corporations and you look at the big corporation. And if we think about Apple as a corporation, well, I don't have much good to say about it. I don't like its corporate policies. But corporations are made up too of individuals. So the people who work there, who form these teams, who came up with AirTags and are passionate about it as their project, don't imagine for 1 second that they'll be delighted to hear of these accounts of people being stalked. They'll be doing everything that they can to make a better product.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it is a real issue, and anybody who's been stalked in any way,
It's not
what a horrific experience
horrible
to go through, and our hearts do go out to anybody who's been in such a position. The fact that AirTags can be used to do it, to some extent, it is concerning.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm sure that things will improve in this regard, and I think it's all about being cautious.
And use what we've discussed in this to be more aware of this as a potential threat. If you're in a situation where you think you're at risk, check your phone. If you've got an Android device, download this device and do a sweep. And if you've got any concerns, go to your local authorities and just stay safe.